from the SwissCast Network.
One thing I tell everyone, but especially the about to be moms, is there's this you right now, and then there's this you after you have your first child. And they're two completely different people.
Yeah.
Your priorities shift, your mind and your body shift, like everything about your life will be different. It's really hard to plan for the new person that you're going to become while you're this person who's been driven and ambitious and moving
energetic.
up in your work. Yeah, energetic. To me, just the sleep deprivation possibility
Exactly.
is a mind fuck too. Like you're not going to be sleeping as much. You're not going to be as energized.
Right.
And now you've got this little thing, this baby that you have to make sure is okay at all times of every day. Hey, I'm Ben Fox, and I'm today's guest on the So Frickin' Healthy podcast. I'm a career coach that helps burnt out or misaligned leaders in tech quit their toxic jobs and get clarity about what's next. And in this episode, we're talking about maternity leave, how to deal with it at your job, how to plan for it, and how to listen to yourself as a soon-to-be mom.
Hi, I'm Danna Levy-Hoffman.
And I'm Megan McCrory.
Welcome to So Frickin' Healthy, the podcast where women's health gets real.
Whether you're healing, thriving, or still figuring your shit out, you're in the right place. Hey, Donna, how you doing today?
I'm all right, Megan. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, I don't have any kids.
I know, you lucky bitch. Yes,
I know. And you've got two that are one is officially an adult by now, and the other one's slowly becoming an adult.
Yeah.
So do you remember the time when you were actually pregnant with them?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Was it hell?
No, actually, the first pregnancy was gorgeous, and I was like just a hot mama. As soon as he popped out, I was back to myself, and I was just feeling amazing, and it was great. And with Mika, it was harder because they're only 15 months apart. So I had a baby on the outside and a baby on the inside, and he would just always, I'll put him on my hip and he'll position himself on my belly and literally pushed him down to the point where I had to give birth like 3 weeks earlier because he was pushing him down. But I don't know how we got into that tangent, but the pregnancies were okay. Mika's pregnancy was a little bit tougher, but generally I cannot complain.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because, and I also don't know if this applies to you either, because you never have worked like a real conventional job. You've always been a hustler. So did you have any kind of like maternity leave, maternity plan, any kind of plan? Because you're not a planner.
No. Although I did plan the pregnancy or like the birth. You know, they have this thing where they want you to plan the birth and they give zero shits about it. So that there was that plan. No, when I was pregnant with Sky, we had just moved from a different canton to here. I was already like 7 months in. So it was kind of pointless to find a job in the new area because I was like, well, I'm popping him out in a second. So it doesn't make sense. And then, as I said, Mika just showed up knocking on the door 5 minutes later. So no, I didn't actually work then.
Okay. Well, that's not the case for a lot of women, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have kids, so I've never had to deal with this. But I've had a lot of friends that have been in the maternity way.
Yeah.
And I'm also coming from the States where like maternity leave is just non-existent.
No. You're showing up with still stitches. You're just still bleeding.
Yeah, they got the umbilical cord still hanging out and they're walking back through the door getting their cup of coffee.
I'm back. Please don't fire me. Literally.
Well, okay, so we don't really talk about this very much. We talk about your kids, but they're older. So normally now we're talking about like perimenopause and menopause, and we thought like, well, let's hold on a minute. We have younger women who listen to our show. Let's do an episode on maternity leave. And I found this guy, and I know all of you ladies are going, what? A guy is going to tell us about how to do maternity leave stuff?
Tell me he's white too.
Yeah, he's a white old guy. Yeah. And so I just thought I listened to this guy, and he's got a really nice voice. So
Nice.
ladies, if you're into nice voices, I think, Ben, you could actually be even an audiobook narrator if you really, really wanted to, because that's a hot thing going on right now, to be a man's audiobook narrator. So we brought Ben, who is a career coach, but also, you know, health is all about also everything. Career is a big part of your health, stress and everything. And Ben's got a little bit of history. I'll underplay him, so I'll undersell him, so he'll overperform, about his time working with women and maternity leaves and helping women to prep, become a prepper, but in a different way for the maternity leave. So welcome, Ben, to So Freaking Healthy.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Yeah, he didn't really know what he was getting into here. So, Ben, I first heard you when I was editing a show called Back After Burnout with Karina Schneider. She's also on our SwissCast Network show. So if you haven't heard of her, you guys can go check her out. And you talked a lot about planning and actually how to quit your job. And that was an amazing episode. And anybody who's in a toxic work environment, highly recommend that you go listen to that episode. I learned a lot. I, of course, should have listened to that episode in 2021 before I quit my toxic job. But I said, okay, what can we talk about with Ben on So Freaking Healthy that's not going to repeat the same thing? And you came up with this wonderful topic about maternity leave and how to help prepare. So can you like give us a understanding how you kind of got into that space from wherever you were?
As a white dude.
As a white dude who can't have babies, how did you find yourself working with maternity leave? In 2020, I was in a new job as a career coach working at a coding boot camp. This is my second coding boot camp that I worked at, and they were totally fine with me doing some contract work on the side. And it was around the time where I made that jump. It was right before COVID. It was like February 2020, where I was outreached by this new company called Maven Clinic. Hey, we help women and their families with all things maternity leave, health, going back to work. Would you like to sign up and be on our platform? It's like, that sounds great. Let's check it out. And for 5 years, I was on that platform. It's not just women. There's some dads on there too, but primarily. And I found a lot of joy in helping people think through this phase of life that, as you said earlier, is not so supported in the US, unfortunately. Something I like to say to most of my clients, especially my female clients, is I truly believe that moms make the world go round. I don't know anyone who would disagree with that. So yeah, I really love that work and being part of all these different women's stories and helping them think through, how do I talk to my employer about the fact that I'm pregnant now? How do I think about taking this leave and supporting my team, supporting my family, etc.?
Yeah. I mean, and I have to say, I'm breaking your balls for being, a white dude. But at the end of the day, I think it is important for women to get supported by men, because this whole world, unfortunately, until now, is run by men. So it is important to have that kind of side of, this is what you should probably be thinking about. Like, maybe speak a little bit more like a man, or have, or direct.
Danna.
Yeah,
no.
It's true though.
Stop it.
Dude, it's true.
No.
It's true. You need to know who you're talking to.
Hey,
and
is
in
this
what
whole
level
episode going to be about the matriarchy and patriarchy of our society?
It may be.
I
but
don't
no,
agree
but it is
with
important
you in this situation. I don't agree.
What, that a woman
that we
needs
need to
have...
bend over and
That's not what I said.
And talk the way a man should talk in order to get maternity leave.
No, that's not what I said. What I meant to say was, it is important because we are from different planets. I mean, it is obvious. We know this. It's very different. And so for a woman going into a world of maternity leave, which a man will not understand because they cannot have babies and carry babies in them, to then be able to communicate in a way that there's a lineup, that it's not like, you should give me whatever I want because I'm giving birth now and I'm, I've created life and this is important and and like bring all the emotional stuff. And with men, sometimes you just have to talk a little bit more like, this is what needs to happen. It's true. I'm living with 3 men, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert.
Fair enough.
So let's go back to Ben, who has actually done some coaching in this area. So Ben, in this specific situation where women might have a male boss or in general a boss, let's say, how do you help them find their voice in this situation and speak from this more, I don't know, is it more important to speak from a non-emotional standpoint when you're trying to plan your maternity leave? Or, I mean, it's hard to, separate the emotion of creating a new life and how that affects your whole world, and that your job, I think for a lot of people, the job, which was 80% of maybe their brain space, is now going to be 30% of their brain space. So how did you go about addressing this or helping people address that?
Yeah. Part of it is, I don't know what you're going through. Like, to really own the fact that I'm on the outside. I will never have that experience of giving birth. I would like to have children someday soon, but it won't be me having the birth. Yeah. So part of why I love coaching as well, in the way that I practice it, is the way in which I'm an expert is not in telling people how to do things. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm guiding and giving advice, but it's more so getting people's own intuition and wisdom out of them and being that shiny reflection. Mm-hmm. So when people are talking to me about their maternity leave, this person's boss is going to be different than this person's boss. This company is going to have a very different policy than this company. And I have to get to the bottom of the situation with each person I'm talking to and have them, well, let me back up for a sec. A big part of how I think I'm of value as a man helping women through maternity leave is I know a lot of women are, part of what I said earlier, like moms make the world go round, is because moms are amazing at thinking about everyone else. Mm-hmm. Everyone is thought about, cared for, in the best version of mom. The dark underbelly of that is who's taking care of mom. Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel a great responsibility. As the youngest of 3 brothers to a wonderful mom, I feel I've been given this beautiful life and outlook about how to be a man that really cares. So a lot of the work is being like, hey, well, what about you, mom? Mm-hmm. What about your needs? Because when you're not at 100%, you're not going to take care of people as well as you could. Mm-hmm. And really having that be the front and center focus, whether it's maternity leave, taking care of their team, taking care of their family. Like, if you're not front and center, the focus, especially if you're giving birth for the first time, I think everyone's kind of screwed.
Yeah. And how should women approach then that conversation? We touched just briefly on it. Like, for example, let's just start from the beginning. Somebody finds out that they're pregnant, and, a lot of women might hold back that information for a long time, especially if they physically can not present that they're pregnant, which is I think a mental burden that they have to hold on to. So when they're ready to tell the boss that they're pregnant, what's the best approach to do that? Or how do they start that conversation?
Yeah, I feel like so much of this depends on their particular situation, whether it's like your tenure at the organization, maybe you've only been there a few months. You're like, oh shit, I don't have a lot of seniority here. Unfortunately, in the States, a lot of women get laid off upon returning from maternity leave, or don't get the chance to come back. Mm-hmm. I think part of it is your seniority at the company. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, if that were the situation, I would work with that person to understand, hey, is there precedence for something like this happening? Is it actually wiser to withhold until it makes sense to tell?
Right.
And that being said, who can you tell that you just 100% trust? Like, there's no doubt. It doesn't necessarily have to be people at work, but like having it be this thing that you have to hold so tight in every area of your life is going to be really burdensome.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I think in the States especially, it's so precarious because people get let go for less than that.
Love that.
Public service announcement. You are allowed to pee when you need to pee. Revolutionary, we know.
Want to feel so freaking healthy in real life, not just while listening to us? Book a free discovery call at organolicious.ch. Let's make it happen.
Hey, are you loving our guest as much as we are? Click the link in the show notes where you'll be able to find additional information, contact details, and maybe even a freebie too.
But it happens also here in Switzerland at the company I used to work for. And I didn't notice it, right? Because I'd never been pregnant. But I was talking to a lady who'd been pregnant and I'd been with the company for quite some time. And I never even noticed it. She's like, yeah, I'm scared because I know when I come back, I'm going to get laid off. And I mean, there's some tight laws in Switzerland. They can't lay you off while you're on maternity leave and they can't lay you off while you're sick. So there is some bandwidth there, but she's like, no, haven't you noticed this person, they all left the company after they had their kid. And I'm like, oh, is that because their values changed, their outlook changed, what was important to them changed, or was it really the company not being conducive to new mothers in the workplace? I don't know. It was just the theory she had. But I feel like, I don't think you're safe anywhere is what I'm saying in terms of taking time away from your career to have a child.
I will share a quick story on the more positive side of things. A former client, when I was working at Maven, let's call her Naomi, she had been at the same big financial company for about 10 years. It was like, this is what she knew about being a working professional. It also helped her get to New York. She had moved a couple times, and these were pretty big moves and big salary increases because of that. And although she was treated well, liked her team, her boss was great, she was part of why we were working together is because she was like, I don't know that I want to be here anymore. I'm getting kind of bored. I'm really great at this work, but I feel like there's more. And I was helping her think through, how can you make this transition into a different company or a whole different type of role? And then she got pregnant. And the whole calculus changed for her, where instead of, I got to get out of this because it's really not working, it was, this is actually a really good place to be pregnant.
Okay.
With the 10 years behind her, I mean, makes sense to start a new job with a young baby. Like, to even get that job is probably difficult, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they had really good benefits compared to most other companies. I think it might have been like 6 months of leave, which is awesome and not to be taken for granted as an employee. So that was huge for her to stay and feel like she had the support of this company, which a lot of people don't feel.
Yeah, I've had a few friends. Obviously, each country in Europe has slightly different laws about maternity leave. But I know in Germany, I had a friend who had a baby and then within the 2 years had another baby, because in Germany, you get 2 years of maternity leave. And to caveat that, it doesn't mean you're getting paid full time the whole time. And it doesn't mean you get your exact job back when you go back, but you're guaranteed a job at the same level when you go back somewhere in the company. And you don't necessarily get paid a full salary that whole time, but like a full salary for the first couple months and then some percentage after that. I don't know all the details, but part of her planning, and we're talking about how to prepare, is she's like, okay, well, if I have 2 children back to back, then I basically get 4 years of maternity leave. And I've got the kids all taken care of, and then I get to go back to a company. It's going to be probably completely different work environment when she goes back because it's been 4 years, but still there was a job when she went back, which is, I think, incredible. That there's that amount of flexibility. So I think that's kind of on the extreme. And I think some of the Scandinavian countries have very similar type of environment. And then you get the families that have all the kids very close so that they can manage this. And then then the kids all kind of grow up at the same time, rather than, having kids that maybe are like 5 years apart. And now you've got to go through that twice. So I think that's kind of the planning part that I thought was interesting, that I obviously never considered, but knowing the laws and knowing what you can and can't do, I think is paramount to helping you understand and feeling relaxed about the decisions that you make. Of course, laws can change while you're not looking, but
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My partner works for the Department of Education here in New York. And one of my former clients, we worked together very briefly. She's a friend, wanted to have her first child. And she's a teacher. And in the education department here, a lot of women will time up when they get pregnant so that they can have their baby, like go on leave for a certain amount of time and then have summer break.
Yeah.
So they can extend it. And I'm like, as a man who doesn't have to think about those things, that was mind-blowing for me. I was like, oh, you're planning your life based on a summer break from your job and what's offered to you.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah, my mom's also a teacher, but I don't think she planned anything like that. She just had them whenever
Whenever they popped.
Whenever they came out, they came out. No, because she had us before she was a teacher. She had all three kids, and then she went back to school to become a teacher. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it is crazy how much we have to think about all these things. And I've been through a lot of it. I mean, not maybe the job part and stuff, but just having kids and, all the things that are involved in that. And just having this conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, we are superheroes. Fucking A. Like, it's crazy because you really do have to think about so many other levels and layers that no one else has to go through thinking about. So it's quite interesting. What is, just out of curiosity, what is the legal, like in the US, when do you have to say that you're pregnant? Like what month or what's the deal? When you're showing
you can
belly?
go into labor. I think you can just go into labor.
You don't have to say anything? And if someone goes like, "Are you pregnant?" You're like,
they
"That's
can't ask you
super
that.
Rude. You're not allowed to ask me
It's illegal
that."
to ask that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They cannot ask you.
So why would you tell?
For planning purposes, I guess. And also
Planning what?
Because the maternity leave, like how much time they get, I guess. I don't know, Ben. I'm guessing.
Well, I think what I've seen with some of the clients I worked with, when they had a great boss who they felt comfortable talking to about this, part of the reason to tell is, like you're saying, to plan for your exit, to support your team, the transition. This is when like a company's working well. Like, yes, you should leave and take care of yourself and have this baby, and we need to take care of the team in your absence. Let's plan on that.
Yeah.
And that can work. And I have those clients like, hey, what is your relationship to your manager? Do they have children?
Yeah.
What's the precedence at this company or on your team for maternity and paternity leave? What does it look like? But yeah, it's so wild that there's even an idea of you should hide this thing that's how we all got here. We're all we all had to be in someone's body and be given birth to, but hide that from your team and your boss.
Yeah.
And be scared for your future. I mean, it's kind of it's tough being
It's a
women.
real mind fuck, I think.
It really is.
So Ben, to give maybe some tangible advice to people who are considering starting to build a family and have a career, are there like a couple of things that you could give advice on terms of how to set themselves up before they leave and how to return to work? Do you have advice or a few words of wisdom that we can give to our listeners?
Definitely. One thing I tell everyone, but especially the about to be moms, is there's this you right now, and then there's this you after you have your first child. And they're two completely different people.
Yeah.
Your priorities shift, your mind and your body shift. Like everything about your life will be different. It's really hard to plan for the new person that you're going to become while you're this person who's been driven and ambitious and moving
energetic.
up in your work. Yeah, energetic. To me, just the sleep deprivation possibility
Exactly.
is a mind fuck too. Like you're not going to be sleeping as much. You're not going to be as energized.
Right.
And now you've got this little thing, this baby that you have to make sure is okay at all times of every day.
And you're completely obsessed with. And you don't want to put
Yeah.
them down.
Yeah.
And when they're sleeping, you want to watch them sleeping. You don't want to go to sleep. You want to watch them and smell them. Right.
And when they go to sleep at night, you just look at pictures that you took all day of them.
Biology is weird but wonderful.
Yeah.
I have one client that I was working with who was at one of the really big tech companies here in the States. And this was our second time working together. She was on maternity leave when we re-engaged in our work together. So I just had her child. I was like, I'm going back to this job in a couple months and it's not sitting right with me. All the things you both just mentioned of like the obsession with her new daughter, it's her first child, were all true. But she was the main breadwinner and she felt this huge responsibility to go back. Also being in New York, it costs a lot to be here. So to me, it was really clear for her that she wanted something else. She had these entrepreneurial stirrings in her that were so clear from the outside looking in, but she didn't feel like she could just leave right away. So she did go back to work, and as she kind of predicted, miserable. Like the amount of work that they have you do at this company, especially with AI changing everything, and she's in tech and she's a software engineer, just really intense. And also with a new boss that wasn't a great fit. So for her, we got crystal clear that she needed to have a quit date. Like she actually couldn't maintain in this environment. That's something else I have people think about. Like if this really hasn't been working out for you and you want to have a kid, that it might be worth your time to think through when leaving might make sense, especially if you're a 2-income household and you have that type of support. We need to do some planning. Like it's gonna continue to wear on you, and being there for your child's first year or 2 years, you'll never get that back. And that's what this client had as her top priority. I want to be there for my daughter. So she had a quit date in August. I was like, that's pretty far out, but okay. She's like, yeah, you're right. Moved it back to April. She just left recently. It was great. And she had a contract role that got lined up. Also, unfortunately, wasn't a great fit, but she was building her business on the side. And now she's a full-time entrepreneur, has all this time for her baby and to build work around her life and not the other way around.
Right. Amazing.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. Because like I mentioned with your episode with Karina, you talk more about how to help people plan for their quit date. And I think that is definitely a topic that the two people who are having the child need to talk about before, because you know, the pain and the planning and everything of coming back afterwards and the stress of your maternity is ending soon. And then you have the stress of, I have to go back to work. How am I going to balance everything? And if you plan and you say, I don't need to come back after that, or I can take a longer break because we have this runway financially that's more secure. God, what a weight lifted off your shoulders if you can just be like, okay, peace out. I'm done for like the next 2 years. I'm just going to worry about this in 2 years or 3 years when I feel like maybe I'm back, maybe 80% back to my pre-parent self.
Right.
And I mean, if you can plan, I feel like that is a huge advantage. And also probably one of the reasons why a lot of people don't have kids. It's because they plan and they go, I can't financially do this right now, which is unfortunate. But that's another topic, unplanned pregnancy versus planned pregnancy. And obviously, if you can plan it financially, this is one of those things I think that is a big weight lifted off your shoulder when you can not have to worry about the money side of things.
Yeah. Another word of wisdom that came to me as you were just talking was there's a ton of fear that if I come back from maternity leave and I'm not as good as I was before, they're not going to want me. Or even just taking this time off, I might get fired. There's a ton of precedence for all this. And to me, when those types of thoughts come up, part of the work is helping people with their mindset. Is this really the place you want to raise a family within? This will be a big part of the income and benefits that you're using to grow a family. Does this place respect you as a human, as a new mother? And if no, to remember, especially a lot of the people I work with are super high achievers, ambitious, have these really beautiful careers that they've built. And I help them think about, well, there's other people who need what you have to offer, who are going to treat you way better.
Yeah.
It's not like a huge slice of the pie, but they're out there. And for everyone I work with, that's the goal. If you want to be an employee, is let's find the companies that actually treat people well.
Right. Right.
It just makes me think of how many clients I had who came to me for health coaching thinking we will talk about what they eat and stuff like that. And we ended up spending 6 months just talking about their job, helping them figure it out, because as you say, things come out of their mouth. They are unhappy at their job. They want to be more with their kids, or they want to completely shift, or they want to take a break, or whatever it may be, or they're just really burnt out and they need to take a break, but they are saying it. And then they're like, well, but I'm kind of stuck in this job, so it is what it is. And to be a coach and to kind of help a person realize that their potential is so much bigger than just that one job,
Right.
which I think is very difficult, especially with women who, anyways, I'm not going into that, but it's so important for that person to have, it's not a mirror, but like an echo, I guess, an echo of like, this is what I heard you just say. And then it clicks of like, oh, wow, I'm super unhappy at work, or I'm burnt out, or I need, and it's quite fascinating to me how just that little support, I think we do a lot more than people think, but that little support as a coach goes such a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes such a long way. So thank you for doing the hard work, Ben.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'm serious.
I love it.
I think we've all said what I think is the most important things is that you just need to think about yourself first, as Ben said, as a woman, as the person who's doing this, and do what you need to do. And if you need a coach to help you with doing that, then find someone who you connect with and plan, and breathe. Make sure you're breathing through all of this. Don't hold your breath, because that's not healthy.
Not for you and not for the baby.
No, exactly. So, Ben, any last words of wisdom before we close it out?
The women that I've worked with, part of where I find coaching to be so useful is having them listen to themselves, in that you're able to see things that the men around you cannot see.
Yeah.
We all have blind spots based on our identities. And one of the things I love with the women I work with is they're so astute about the things around them that they're seeing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, let's figure out a way to say this that feels like you, that can be well received. Yeah. Because not only will you feel better because you're being yourself, but everyone else is going to grow in the way that would be beneficial for all.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Ben, so much for talking with us today about a topic we have never talked about on the show. So thank you for being open to talking about that with us, and pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we need your help with something.
If this conversation landed for you, please share it. Send it to your best friend or your sister or that woman in your book club who's been struggling with the same shit. That's how we grow. You, real women, sharing real conversations.
Everything we talked about today is on our website at sofreakinhealthy.com. Show notes, links, resources, it's all there. And you can even leave us a voice message. We love hearing your voices.
If the show is helping you on your health journey, would you please take 2 minutes to rate and review us? It helps other women find us, and it tells us we're doing something right.
If you want to go deeper with us, become a member of So Frickin' Healthy on our website. You'll get access to bonus content, our private community, and exclusive resources to support your health journey.
Plus, sign up for our email list to stay in the loop and receive occasional rants about wellness culture.
Thank you for showing up for yourself today.
Your health journey matters.
Stay frickin' healthy.
This podcast is a production of the SwissCast Network, amplifying English-speaking voices in, for, and about Switzerland. Learn more at SwissCast.network.